This is the Washington Times front page for the final day of February, Tuesday, February 28th, 2023. Thanks for joining us. I'm George Gerbo. An inspector general has found that Taliban operatives are trying to identify and retaliate against Afghans who cooperated with the 20-year American military and reconstruction effort. Stephen Dinan reports the U.S. Special Inspector General for Afghanistan Reconstruction says the Taliban is using fingerprint records, gun records, and other methods to identify and target those individuals for retribution. The Taliban have also created a repatriation commission, reportedly to welcome back some Afghans who self-exiled when U.S. forces withdrew from the country in 2021. The Republican primary contest next year is destined to be bloody, but conservative leaders say they don't mind a bruising fight for the party's presidential nomination. Susan Ferricchio reports Republicans will begin competing for the nomination in person this week at the annual Conservative Political Action Conference. It kicks off Wednesday at National Harbor, just a few miles south of Washington, D.C. Former President Donald Trump is expected to use the CPAC stage to snipe at his 2024 opponents. His top target, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, has not committed to attending the event, but is widely expected to launch a presidential campaign after the Florida legislative session ends in May. Most recent college graduates are emotionally unprepared to survive in the 9-to-5 workplace, according to a survey that experts say confirms a growing trend. Sean Salai reports more than half of professionals between the ages of 22 and 28 said they sought help for emotional problems such as anxiety or depression in the previous year and experienced burnout at least once a week. The Mary Christie Institute, a Boston nonprofit that studies the mental health of emerging adults, conducted the poll. The survey echoes others before the pandemic that found growing numbers of young people unprepared for jobs. Parental rights advocates blame decades of trends towards soft parenting and falling academic standards. You can read all of these stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page. You can also find the entire lineup of Washington Times podcasts at WashingtonTimes.com/podcasts. The movement to inject climate change and social justice politics into corporate boardrooms and investment strategies has suffered a series of setbacks in the past year. The road ahead gets rockier, Ramsey Touchberry reports, with the Republican-led House ready to block new federal rules to apply what is known as environmental, social, and corporate governance to 401k investments. Opponents of ESG warn that climate change and other political considerations warp an asset manager's fiduciary duty to yield the highest returns on investment. Critics say that could potentially impact retirement plans and public pensions. And finally, the House Oversight and Accountability Committee is accusing the Treasury Department of obstructing the panel's probe into the Biden family by blocking repeated requests related to Hunter Biden. Joseph Clark reports Committee Chairman James Comer said officials have refused to hand over a tranche of reports flagging Hunter's transactions and accused them of operating in bad faith. Comer has sent a letter to Deputy Assistant Treasury Secretary for Oversight Isabella Moore to appear before the committee to examine the reason for not providing the documents. Find all of today's front page stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page or on the Washington Times app, and find us wherever you get your podcasts. Just search Washington Times in any major podcast app. You can also find us on Twitter and Instagram at WashTimes for breaking news, sports, commentary, and more. For the Washington Times, I'm George Gerbo.